Hey, good evening everybody. Tonight I'm going to show you how to make pea soup in an Instant Pot. This is really simple to do. Now I am using a pork hock because, well, I'm from Quebec, so you know, c'est dans le temps de Jourdain and all that, right? So if you don't want to use this, just leave it out and put some more vegetables in it, alright? So here's the ingredients. And if you're wondering why I've got such a big bag, well, I went to a store that had a lot of these, and it's really cheap to make if you buy a big bag of peas. The only thing is you have to go through them, and I'll show you how to do that. Just got my scale paired and ready to go. First I'm going to just weigh them, and then I'm going to go through them. Now, when I mean go through them, I mean looking for rocks. You can sort of see it now as I'm pouring it out, but it's not the same, because honestly, even though this bag is really cheap, if you screw up and miss a rock and you bite into it, well, yeah, it's going to be a lot more expensive, even with full dental. 454, good enough. To go through these, just grab a small handful and look at them on a plate. It sounds stupid, but if you've got any bad ones, you'll see it. I was getting really bored, and we have a winner. Okay, now this may or may not be a rock, but as you can see, one of these things is not like the others, alright? So this one is coming out, and even if it is a bean, it's like not going to be good in this soup, so just take that out. The sorting is all done. I'm just going to set that aside for now. I'm just going to rinse them and then let them drain in here. One of the nice things about this soup is you do not have to soak these things. You simply rinse them right before cooking. So to begin with, you get the mirepoix ready, which is just carrots, celery, and onion. And I'm going to peel those and chop them up and put them in a bowl. You may have walked by these in the store going, well, that looks interesting, but you have no idea what to do with it, so you just put it back. Now, you know, I did, as you know, I always do research for my stuff, and some of the recipes I found kind of bothered me, where they're like, just put the whole thing in. Oh, my husband likes it like that. And it's like, yeah, well, you better have the life insurance paid up, eh? Anyways, as is, I personally find, you know, not judging anybody here, there's just way too much fat, way too much salt, and you're just going to wind up, in my opinion, with a nasty, greasy soup, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can circumvent that problem. Oh, yeah, and it's going to be way too smoky as well. You know, I'm just going to get... I can smell the smoke from here, all right? And oh, look, pig skin, just like a football. Okay, so that's the part that's going to come off. So get a very sharp knife, make sure hands are away. You don't necessarily need to use a boning knife for this, but if you got one and you're proficient with it, sure. Otherwise, I just sharpen this right before the shoot. Get your fingers under this. And not to be too gruesome, flay the pork hock. And if you do it right, you shouldn't even actually have to cut into it. And get it all off, come on, in one go. It's always that little bit that just doesn't want to go, you know? Okay, and just cut underneath away. There you go. Oh, don't want to lose any of that ham underneath. Okay, so there's all that nasty smoked whatever that's got most of the salt in it. Now what you do is you visually inspect this after, and you can just very gently trim away the big chunks of fat. Now, there's a difference between the fat, and you can see the connective tissue. This is going to render into the soup. It will help to thicken it up. And For any of you out there who might be spending a lot of money on oral collagen supplements, well, just eat this, okay? If you're worried about taking all the fat off, don't be. There's quite a bit underneath that will add enough depth to the soup that feel free to just trim away. Now these smoky bits, you leave that on and just stick this in the fridge in the meantime. Start the Instant Pot on saute. Just pour a bit of oil in the bottom, not too much. I don't even wait for it to heat up. I'll just put the vegetables in right away because I'll hear it when it starts. Rinse the peas under cold water. Don't rinse them excessively or they'll actually start to dissolve. Just make sure you get the dust and any dirt off of them and just leave them in a bowl till you're ready to put them in. Measure your broth if you're using packaged. If not, I just get a good spoon of this. I don't really measure this stuff if it's a little too strong. It just makes a better flavor. Now you just want to sweat these a little. You don't want them to brown or anything. Pour in your stock. Add your peas. Now, because of the pork hock, this does not require any added salt. If you're not using that, you might want to put a bit in. This always goes well with a good heavy sprinkle of black pepper. And the final seasoning that really makes this nice is just put in a teaspoon of thyme. Give that one good last mix. Set your pork hock on top. Set your pressure cook button here for 18 minutes on normal. Okay, so the timer went off. I do a fast release on this. There we go. So I've got the tongs and a meat fork to make sure this doesn't fall off. I want to give you a good look at it. It's partially coming off the bone. It's cooked all the way through. So I'll set that on the cutting board. And so you can see, I'll give it a good stir. All the peas have cooked right through. They've nearly made a sludge. You actually just give it a really good stir with the ladle. It's not stuck to the bottom, which is great. And I do turn off the keep warm for this because it stays hot for quite a while and you don't want it to start to crust on the bottom. Here, you'll see it in the bowl again, but I'll just give you a shot there. You can see it's a really nice consistency. Now how much meat you put in each bowl is a matter of personal preference. I'll just do a few slices here so you can see what it looks like. And I'll plate up a dish. And again, portion sizes are individual preference. Because it's a soup, what you will want to do is just give it a nice chop there. So that'll just give you an idea of what the meat looks like. And if somebody likes bigger pieces, just put them in like that. I personally find it goes better with smaller slices. So get some of that plated up. Garnish it with the ham. I usually serve it like that and let the people stir it in themselves. So that's how I make pea soup with pork hock. Thank you for watching. Have a happy new year and do subscribe.